Borderlands 4 is about to release, and I had the huge honor of getting to play it early. And a huge shout out to 2K for sponsoring this video. Borderlands 4 releases on September the 12th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And if you pre-order, you'll receive the Gilded Glory Pack featuring new cosmetics and new weapons. In my previous video, I showed you guys 5 tips and tricks to help you get started in Borderlands 4. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys what I love doing most in Borderlands, and that's setting up your skill tree, getting all your guns and equipment, and going in and melting bosses. I'm going to show you one of the first big boss fights that you're going to encounter in Borderlands 4. It's got some fun mechanics, and I'll show you how this boss fight works, and then I'll also show you the legendary dedicated drop that's associated with this boss. Now, I'm playing as Vex the Siren with Trouble the Cat, and I have a loadout that is obliterating this boss. After this boss fight, I'm going to show you everything I have for this setup, the skill tree, the equipment, and the weapons. When I first did this boss fight, I didn't have good gear, and it took me a very long time to get through it. But now I can finish this fight in just over a minute, and I think I can improve on that. So the boss is going to be immune, and to break that immunity, you need to grab a device off of a green post. Now he's going to be shooting these posts on the ground. Some are red, but one will be green. You throw it at him, and it creates a cloud around him, breaks his immunity, and then you can start firing. Before I start firing, I activate 2 attacks from Trouble. One is a targeting attack, and the other is the action skill. So I hold down L1 for the targeting, and then just tap L1 for the action skill. When I have both of those activated, it makes my weapons way more powerful, so I don't even bother shooting until all of that's going. Then the next thing I do is only bring in the weapons that have a very specific ability that absolutely f this guy up. It's an alternate taser fire mode, and you don't get many with these weapons, but in this boss fight, you don't need very many. And I only have 2 of these weapons with the alternate taser, and I brought both of those in, and I've left my other gun slots empty. The reason for that is because I want to switch back and forth to these weapons quickly. I'm trying to fire tasers at him only, and the tasers do not consume ammo. They have a cooldown. I start with the purple epic rarity taser, and I fire 4 shots. That's all I get. And then I switch to the blue rarity. I've got 3 shots on that. I fire all of those. Then I just switch back to the other purple rarity that I started with and wait for those tasers to be ready. If they're not, then I just shoot with the other non-elemental bullets and target those critical spots. His crit spots seem to be his head and those green pustules coming off the right side of his body. During the boss fight, he will become immune again, and you'll have to grab one of those cartridges again. He does continue to shoot those down, and you'll blast him with that and drop that immunity. And depending on how fast you can kill him, there is a phase of the boss fight where he will throw hazards everywhere in the arena, and there will be spaces where you can stand that are safe, and those spaces get smaller and smaller as the boss fight continues. He's got 3 health bars, and I got through 2 of them and then about 10% of the third one before he went back into immunity. If you don't have great weapons, then you're going to be fighting him for a lot longer, and he's going to go into many more immunity phases, and you'll have to face more of his attacks where he makes the ground a hazard and you have to find the safe spaces. So right here, I'm jumping around those hazards, and that stopped, and I'm waiting for him to shoot down another green pole so I can pick up that cartridge. While I'm waiting and he's immune, it's perfect because I'm waiting for all of Trouble's skills to cool down. So I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to toss it at him, and then activate the targeting from Trouble, and then the action skill, and I'm going to fire all 4 of those charges, switch to the other weapon, fire the other 3, and then that takes care of him. And the dream and what I'm working on is to get 4 weapons that have alternative taser fire, so I can just come in, unload 4 weapons with tasers. I want to see if I can get through the entire boss fight before he immunes. Another thing to know, in this arena, there's plenty of ammo on the ground if you're using different types of weapons, and there's also enemies running around, but they don't really bother you if you're moving a bunch. I keep them alive just in case I get down. You can shoot them and revive. Another thing that I want to mention is that having Trouble and using Vex the Siren distracts bosses, and this cat keeps this boss off me and busy the entire fight. And just to show how cool these tasers are, you can stick them anywhere and they will chain and electrify enemies nearby. And right here I have the 2 weapons with a total of 7 charges. I'm able to put all 7 out, and this is what I unloaded into that boss. This is a great area for the taser. There's a lot of blue shields. Right here, I put one on the ground. That guy was dead before I landed. If there had been another enemy close to him after he died, that electricity would have chained to the next enemy. So now let me show you the full build that I've got for these weapons, and then I'll show you the legendary that big boss drops. So these are Vladoff SMGs. This one's called State Bori. It's an epic. This again has an alternate fire of taser, fires a taser that damages a nearby enemy for 144 damage per second. I'll show you how it compares to the blue rarity. So the damage per second is a little higher, and some of the other numbers are a little better, but it has less charges. It's got 3 and the epic has 4. Now I'll show you the tree setup, and I've only got 21 points, and this is where I put them. Obviously the red tree with phase familiar. This is where you just tap L1. This is the action skill or whatever platform you're on, and it's gonna turn Trouble into a badass. You hit that button, it'll teleport Trouble in, and he will do all kinds of damage. And if he's dead, you can bring him back like this. First on the tree, I have 4 points into Blood is Magic. This is passive. Vex deals increased action skill damage the higher her health. The next one, you have different choices for augment. I'm putting on Blink Strike. This is where I have to hold down that L1 and target an enemy. Blink Strike always critically strikes enemies who have less than 50% of their health. It's probably the reason why Trouble kills all the enemies before I get a chance to. Next is to the right, Yowl and Bay. It's passive. I've got 5 points into this. Vex gains increased gun damage for a duration after commanding Trouble. The boosts are really noticeable with this one, and that's why I was saying in the boss fight, I don't even start shooting until I've got Trouble in the arena doing his thing. The next one is right below that. I've got 5 points into that. Vorpal Friends, it's passive. I'm using this one because I'm trying to get to that part of the tree that has shock damage enhancements. So Vex and her minions gain 25% plus critical hit damage. The last one is Shocking Attunement. It's passive. I've got 4 points into that. While Vex is attuned to shock, she gains increased movement speed and gun damage while moving. And that increased gun damage of plus 24% and then plus 6% more while walking definitely helps. I do have a class mod on that is helping a little bit, and you're going to start getting these at rank 20. You're going to start seeing them dropping in the world. Now this is a green rarity. It's not great, but it's giving me plus 23% submachine gun damage, and the weapons I'm using are submachine guns from Vladoff. I also have a Vladoff enhancement on. This is of epic rarity. This is giving me plus 11% to gun damage, fire rate, and status effect damage. Also, guns with Vladoff licensed parts reduce the underbarrel cooldown duration by 40%. My grenades and my shield I don't really think are contributing to this setup. It's just these 2 items that I've gotten specifically for this build. Now the legendary grenades I have equipped are absolutely badass. You guys are gonna love these. I'm gonna show you what they do and where you can get them in a later video. There is a screen you can toggle to see your base stats and damage stats, and this is where I'm at right now. Now let's have a look at the legendary weapon that big boss drops, Idolater Saul. This is called the Scornful Gore Master. It's a legendary shotgun, and the red flavor text says, "The fact that we get to do this for a living is pretty fucking cool." This thing is quite fierce looking. It's got an animated cube with something suspended in the middle. Ripper is a brand new weapons manufacturer in Borderlands 4, and Rippers are known for being fully automatic with a spin-up time before reaching maximum firing speed. They feature large magazines for prolonged shooting, but trade off some accuracy and damage per shot. Let's have a look at the stats here. So it says Chief Execution Officer deals plus 30% damage to enemies below 30% health. And then Ripper, this gun charges before full auto firing. It does 457 damage per second and shoots 6 times 29 with a 70% accuracy. Let's have a look at some gameplay here. So it's got a pretty cool sight on it. It's got some mad recoil. I am like pulling down on that thumbstick like crazy trying to keep it level. It does have a very cool reload animation. It pulls out that suspended animated cube, and I thought maybe that would indicate some hidden elemental ability with this, but I've not seen anything, and my cat doesn't really change any colors to match the element. Looks like this is just kinetic. It's pretty good for a shotgun. My build is not set for this gun, but with a really good build, this could be super OP. I did really struggle at times to keep this gun level. It's kicking up hard right there. It's also very good for fight for your life. If you get down and you need to shoot an enemy, yeah, it's really effective. The charge up time before it goes fully automatic, I didn't even notice. It's a very short duration. There are some weapons that take forever, but this is not very noticeable. Also, the red flavor text that says the fact that we we get to do this for a living is pretty fucking cool. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe you guys do. It sounds like a movie quote you would hear from a movie like Die Hard. When you think of the title of the gun, Gore Master, that's like someone who's masterful at creating or depicting graphic violence or horror in like movies or games. So maybe it's related to that. I don't know. Maybe this was said in like a famous horror film or something. I feel like one of y'all will know, and then we're all gonna be like, oh yeah, duh, that's where it's from. And a big shout out to 2K for sponsoring this video. I cannot thank them enough. Also, I'm gonna try to do a live stream on September the 11th, the day before the release. So look out for that announcement, and that live stream should be a lot of fun. But I hope this helped you guys out, and we'll see you next video.
Timekeeper, it was me.
That's me. And don't you